Hello YouTube, Ronan Kazi here with not another legendary, but a manhunt video with Mike Rowe. There in the beginning you saw, if you want to go back, there is a quick snapshot of my build, which is the Vile Jammer. Got called in on a request for backup, and I'm using my regular Vile Jammer build. What you're going to notice here in a second that I realize someone else is doing a jammer. And so for a while, I take turns with him and we get in a nice synchronicity where we're not overriding each other and we're constantly putting them under pressure. But that's tough. That leaves a level of anxiety for someone that I don't think he's as high a level as I am. So he's trying to perfect his build, and you got some guy that's, hogging in on his stuff. So one of the benefits of this build is you can change to gunner where you're going to get that effect where you dizzy everyone or whatever it's called, but you don't have to pulse. And then they don't overwrite each other and there's no conflict. So we'll see how long it takes me to figure that out. Now, what I love about these manhunts is you can stay out of, you can indirectly damage. You don't have to see the enemy. They've set them up so for a build like mine, I can just go through here and never even see the enemy and just constantly pulse them to death. For some people that might not be fun. I just want to get these things done normally. I will say this, on the last, General Anderson, I tried to get a group for that, I couldn't. I had to lower that down to hard. I didn't know the mechanics, I didn't know anything about it, never done it, so it was tough for me. So I had to cheap out and lower it. And of course I didn't record that because I'm a chicken shit. So anyways, I'm helping this guy out. And hopefully right here, I'm going to do it now. All right, I'm switching my build to my gunner build. And then I have to change my pulse to that one, Banshee. Okay. This is just another benefit of that build. It's a completely different dynamic in a lot of ways for every content except Black Tusk. It's superior because it lasts longer. If you're not facing dogs, there's no real skills that are really pains in the asses. Again, like with all these pulse skills, you can go through the walls. I'm going to change to shotgun now. So I'm still getting the damage over time from Vile, but now I'm just crowd controlling them a little bit longer. Sometimes if you go too far forward in this, they can rush you, but with this Banshee skill, I don't really have to worry about it. You'll see as I go up right to that front wall, they're going to almost come around the edge, but they're not going to make it because I always Banshee them. The only negative with Banshee is it's directional. It's not omnidirectional. It'd be super OP if it was omnidirectional. So sometimes I failed at it because I'll turn while I'm so used to the EMP jammer pulse that I can just look around while I'm pulsing everything. And you'll see sometimes I do that. And when you're shepherding, you just want to make sure you're helping everyone. Now, you see they threw an EMP out. If that guy does his jammer pulse, it knocks that down. That's normally one of the side benefits of pulsing. And we have a pretty nice group here. Again, and what I've told you is that if you play legendaries, when you come back to a heroic, it almost feels like easy mode. It's not, but you just have so much more room for mistakes. It's not that they're necessarily easier, you have more margin for error. I end up helping a lot of people that are under level 40. We're doing story modes, and I'll help them in New York. And then I will help a lot of people. We'll sometimes be doing challenging. Those are people that they probably have 1,500 watch score, but they just don't feel comfortable doing heroics. And so I help those people out also. I don't show you that gameplay because this build is ridiculously overpowered. That's probably when I would choose to do like a weapon DPS, because you're not going to go down. Again, it's even more forgiving. I think I've mentioned in the past couple videos that I probably am going to do a striker build because it's just super powerful. You know, so the only difference is what I choose for a chest and backpack piece. I know that might gimp the striker build, but I will do that in a video, so you know, because I have some preferences that I'd like for the other slots that I think make the build a little bit better. And you can see this build along with that guy pulsing, we're just going to roll through all of this stuff. So I recently told you I started doing some video editing on an Android device versus my iPad, and there was no comparison. In the future, in the short future, I will do a separate video. If you're interested in doing any type of video editing, what I have to say is an iPad with an M1 is ridiculously fast. And LumaFusion is a really good tool for that. It's simple to use. It's easy to use. You can hook the iPad up to a keyboard and a mouse, so you can use those kind of things. But really, it becomes so intuitive. It's really fast to do the videos. I would recommend 256 gigabyte. I have a 128, and what I found now is Apple has a weird thing, so they have a lot of logs and system caches, so I've cleaned out all the spaces, but there's one part that's uncontrollable. It's the only thing I really am disapproving on the Apple, is this non-user controllable space. And I've heard people say that when they have like a terabyte iPad, they have this about the same size. So it doesn't grow with the terabyte. I think it's just a function of, you know, it's the minimum amount the operating system needs. And they're really trying to protect you with Apple. There's all these, you know, they don't want to delete everything, you know, that really protects the users. So we'll talk about that at a different time. So I told you, again, one of the things I like about these manhunts is that you can just pulse them through the walls. So when we clear this out, I'm guessing, I'm going, I don't want to go up there. Do they need me? Do they need me? No. So I'm going to turn around and run back. I'll throw, what happens is when I start pulsing from back here, they start coming. And you can see we're killing them. That's why that turret being up there is important. More so when you have the jam, because the jammer doesn't really stun them for that long. It just kind of disorientates them. Oh, what I want to do, I haven't edited into the video, but I will at the end. You won't see it, or I won't talk about it here, but what's going to eventually happen is I want to talk about all the folks that have been really great on the channel. And so that's going to be the following people that have been absolutely fantastic. Ultimate Shield 340, Ms. Buffalo, Rich 85. These folks are really commenting all the time, really going out. Rich 85, probably the most. He's been fantastic. Jimmy DCZ was there from the beginning. And the other folks have been commenting. If you comment a little bit more, I'll recognize you as well. But I really appreciate it. You guys got me up to over 250. I appreciate you with all the questions. I appreciate you sharing your experiences. It makes this all worthwhile. So back to the video. This section of Viewpoint is always a little problematic because it's, you know, the fight's on 3 different levels at sometimes. But again, if you're patient, you see I have a turret out here. This skill is so great, Banshee. You know, you're going to be able to stun people. And then with a Scorpio, you got crowd control for days. And really, again, the genesis of this Vile Jammer build was, if I'm putting these status effects on people, why don't I get bonus for it? Oh gosh, Ronan. You're such a big... I get hit from behind. And I get hit again. Oh, and I get smoked. How about I tell you more about my strategy? My one strategy is to get knocked out and then knocked dead. And so in a little bit, you'll see why kind of this happening. This was at a long string. I'm trying to accomplish something, so I probably played way too long. And I don't know if that happens to you. What happens to me is when I first get into Division, if I get into like a match immediately, I don't really have the rhythm of it yet, and so I'll play poorly. And I had a video recently where I talked about someone that was playing poorly. I have those times too, but after like one section of a map, I get my shit together. I'm like, okay, get my shit together. Or if I've been playing too long, I'll overextend. I'll think I can go a little bit further than I can. And all of that's okay. And I don't want anyone to think that the last video where I was focusing on a dude, what I was trying to focus on, these things happen to me all the time. I try not to call people out, but I also don't want you to think, okay, time out for a second. In Viewpoint, when I'm doing micro, I always come in here and then I jammer pulse them from here so I can get everyone nonstop. Now I'm going to try to do it with the Banshee, but this is where I play from on this one all the time. You only have 2 entrances, front and behind. I usually put my turret up front and I'll look behind me in the back. And if you're a pulser, I'd recommend this spot. Maybe you might throw trap out, shock trap. But getting back to, I'd like to show you examples of things that happen, not because people are playing different than me. They're allowed to play different than me. It's just like on a legendary, it's not the same as a heroic. And it's the time investment. A heroic, you can just start over and you can speed rush most of these heroics. Legendary can't speed rush. So if you put 2 hours in and someone, oh, hold on a second, just made Shepherd level 99. So I think recently I told you that was the whole reason I started this channel, because I wanted to show you how you can make Shepherd level 99. I just didn't kill you with all the videos where I was doing it. So this was at the end of the weekend where I was just going non-stop. I went from like 95 to 99 over the weekend. And which is 7 it's a lot of shepherding. But I wanted to get done with it. I didn't want to stop playing this character for the season and go on other games until I had achieved that. Like everyone else, a couple times I said, well, I don't really have to. It'd be okay if I didn't get 99, but I told myself I wanted to get 99. Not because it's an EP thing or anything else like that. It just, I did it last go around, and I want to do it this go around. It's just something that I want to achieve. I like helping people. I like doing these videos. I like people recommending builds. I like doing builds. I like going into the dark zone. I'm kind of wishing to go back there. But I wanted to get this. That kind of what has also been standing in my way is making the Shepherd level 99. The video that has my most views is Why Do You Want to Help Another Agent? Why Help Agents, I think is the name of it. It's got close to 9,000 views, which in my channel is enormous, but compared to other Division 2 people, it's nothing. On a bad day, they might get 9,000. That's like my best one ever. So I appreciate everyone that helped make that happen. So I'll probably have a follow-up to that, kind of, saying this is why I helped agents. And really the Shepherd doesn't give you any more. You can see a guy here just splashing us with Oxidizer. Just a quick note to everyone, Oxidizer is skill-based, not status effect. That's a good thing to know. So if you have a high skill build, then you should use Oxidizer instead of Flame. If you have a high status, you should use Flame instead of Oxidizer. I didn't always know that. But like I've told you many times, I'm not that smart. So again, I want to thank those people again. I want to thank Rich 85, Ultimate Shield 340, Ms. Buffalo, Jimmy DCG. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate everyone else. I'm going to try to put you guys here at the end of the video. Put your names in there for a second. Again, I appreciate it. I don't have a Patreon or anything like that yet. I just want to make sure I get a decent amount of videos out there so there's some content for you to look at. Thanks again, everyone, and I appreciate you. Bye-bye.